Part 20. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, Beautiful. Chapter 191. Chapter 191 Self-Defense. Fang Qizi struggled on the ground, but his whole body felt like it had been rolled over by a car and he couldn't move. His eyes were sinister. You can't run away even if you kill me. Qingyu was also frightened by Yunsu's kick. Seeing that she still wanted to step forward, she immediately stopped Yunsu and said, "Susu, don't, it's not worth it for someone like him. Don't worry, this kind of scum is not worth dirtying my hands. Death is nothing. Life is worse than death, which is the most painful thing." Yunsu looked at Fang Qizi and said, "Believe me, I can definitely do it." Her eyes were neither sad nor happy, and Fang Qizi shuddered suddenly. What did she want to do? "Kill me if you can," he kept shouting, and Fu Wen simply blocked his mouth. Around Qingding Pavilion, on a cool autumn night, there was a faint smell in the wind. A group of police officers lying in wait covered their mouths and noses and could hardly breathe. "Boss, why hasn't the suspect come yet? Is he trying to defraud us?" A police officer couldn't bear it anymore. He would rather fight the suspect hand to hand than squat in this garbage heap. It's so terrible here. It's a biological weapon. What's the rush? Wait, Changfeng glanced at him. Fang Qizi probably didn't notice anything was wrong. He's greedy for money. Xiaohu said he would come over if he took the money. Team A, Group A, have you found the suspect? Changfeng asked his colleagues in the headset. "Boss, when we arrived at the location we just located, Fang Qizi and the hostages were not there and we're looking for them." "Xiaohu, call him and ask him. Just tell him you've arrived and ask him where he is." Yun Daijin looked at her lovingly and hugged her gently. Qing Lian cried silently in his arms. "Hello," she said cautiously. "The path behind the west street of Changzhou village," Yunsu reminded. Yes, yes, Jing Yu quickly repeated. "Ms Jing, don't worry. The Wuyan rubber factory is in the east of the city. The suspect can't hide people there. He said this just to lure us away. We must not be fooled." Changfeng calmed her down. Xiaowu. Xiaowu. Is it really you?" Qing Lian was shocked and shouted in disbelief. She was ecstatic and repeatedly confirmed the identity of the other person. I'm. Qing Yu looked around blankly, not knowing where he was. "Yes, alien, we still listen to the police. It's better not to run around at this time, in case we find him later." Okay. Wang Xiaohu took out his cell phone and was about to make a call when a crisp ringtone rang. Qing Lian got up from Yun Daijin's arms and hurriedly answered the phone without even having time to look at the caller ID. "What? Not here?" Qing Lian suddenly became excited. "Didn't you say Xiaoyu was over there? How could he not be there?" "No, I'll go to the rubber factory to look for him." "Alien, don't be impatient." Yun Daijin quickly stopped her. Changfeng turned back instantly, staring at Qing Lian's mobile phone like a hawk. "Susu, why are you here? What happened?" The night was very quiet. Yun Daijin heard his daughter's voice, his eyes widened and he became anxious. "Mom, it's me, I'm okay." Qing Yu cried so hard that she was out of breath. "How can I not be anxious? If Xiao is gone, I won't be able to survive." Qing Lian burst into tears. "Why is God so cruel to them, mother and daughter?" Seeing that just after a little while, something like this happened again. As soon as Qing Yu heard her mother's voice, she couldn't hold back any longer and burst into tears. "Mom." Yun Daijin also looked surprised. "Is Xiao Yu okay?" "But I can't wait like this, I can't stand it." Qing Lian held her head in pain. "Where are you?" "Stay still, Mom will come right away." Qing Lian asked hurriedly. "Isn't Susu staying at home well? Why are you with Xiao Yu?" Yunsu took the phone from Qing Yu and said, "Dad, we are all fine." "I can't speak clearly." "Captain Chang, Are you here? I'm here. Chang Feng paused for a moment and replied in a deep voice. There's no need to squat there, Fang Qizi is here with me. Yunsu's voice was calm, as if he just asked, have you eaten? Chang Feng had countless questions in his mind, but he held it back. I'll be right over. By the way, let's call an ambulance. Yunsu glanced at Fang Qizi, who couldn't move. He couldn't die now. He still had a long life. Chang Feng. In the end, what happened? At this time, a colleague's exclamation came from the headset. Boss, we have found a suspect, hostages, and some unidentified people. We are surrounded. Come here quickly. Chang Feng wiped his face and said, we'll be there soon. He hesitated and let the ambulance waiting outside come in. The police forces scattered around the village in the city instantly gathered together and converged there. Qing Lian and Yun Dajin couldn't wait any longer and ran straight over there, even faster than Chang Feng and others. Xiao Yu, Qing Lian missed her so much that she saw Qing Yu next to Yun Su at a glance among the crowd. She screamed and rushed towards him immediately. Mom! The mother and daughter hugged each other and burst into tears. Qing Lian thought of something and suddenly let go of her hand. Let Mom see if you are injured. I'm fine, Qing Yu smiled, not wanting her mother to worry. King Lian's eyes paused on her red and swollen face, and he touched her face with trembling hands. Her voice sounded like it was squeezed out from between her teeth. You say you're okay? It's all skin injuries, nothing serious. Susu came in time, so I'm fine. Hearing that it was Yunsu who saved Xiaoyu, King Lian's eyes instantly turned to her. She had so many words of thanks that she didn't know what to say. She could only hold Yunsu's hand tightly and repeat over and over again, thank you, Susu, thank you, really thank you. We are a family, Aunt Qing. There is no need to mention this word. After comforting Qing Lian, Yunsu looked away guiltily, not daring to look at his father. Yun Dajin was holding back his anger and didn't know how to vent it. Xiao Yu was kidnapped, and he was also very anxious, but this was not the case for a little girl like Susu to put herself in danger. If something happened to her, what should he do? He will take care of her when he gets back. After getting excited, Qing Lian finally turned her gaze to Fang Qizi, who was lying on the ground unaware of who was doing it. There was overwhelming hatred in her eyes. After all, we have been husband and wife with him for so many years, and yet he can do something so crazy and worse than an animal. Before anyone could react, Qing Lian had already rushed forward, raised her hand, and slapped Fang Qizi on the face. This slap used up all her strength. Fang Qizi, who had already fainted, was woken up by the slap. As soon as he opened his eyes, he met Qing Lian's hateful gaze. He subconsciously cursed, bitch, what are you doing? What do I do? What do you think I do? Qing Lian didn't rest at all, and slapped him a few more times. The police officers present all turned their backs and the victims' families were just venting their emotions. As long as it didn't go too far, they could turn a blind eye. Without anyone stopping him, Fang Qizi's face quickly swelled like a pig's head. Chang Feng, who arrived late, saw such a scene. He shouted, stop. Looking at the suspect's dying appearance, Chang Feng was afraid that he would be slapped to death. He pulled Qing Lian up, who was already losing her mind. Qing Yu and Yun Dajin took her aside and whispered to comfort her. Chang Feng looked at this chaotic scene, his head hurt. Who can tell me what is going on? The captain of the other team came over and said, boss, the suspects were already lying here when we arrived. These people are unidentified. According to them, they are all here to find the whereabouts of the hostages. Chang Feng looked at these 10 well-built men. With his many years of experience in handling cases, he could tell at a glance that these people were by no means ordinary people. How could an ordinary female college student mobilize so many people at the same time? Looking for her whereabouts? Then there was only one possibility. Chang Feng turned his gaze to Yun Su, who was standing quietly, "Miss Yun, I think you need to give me an explanation." Yunsu looked at him without fear. "As you can see, I am rescuing people." As for him, Yunsu looked at Fang Qizi, who was breathing heavily and had no energy to curse, and smiled slightly. "It's just self-defense." Changfeng looked at Fang Qizi, who was about to faint again. "What is this called self-defense? Then if he comes later, will he be over-defended?" He really felt tired talking to this girl, so he turned his eyes to Fu Wen and others. "Who are you?" "Wan San, Miss Yun's bodyguard." Wan San stepped forward and introduced himself. Changfeng looked at Wan San, whose body was bulging with muscles. At first glance, this kind of bodyguard was the top one. Does a high school student in Yunsu need such strict protection? Fu Wen glanced at him. Before they spoke, he claimed to be Miss Yun's bodyguard? "Then you?" Changfeng looked at Fu Wen again. These people were obviously not in the same group as them. They seemed a little hostile at that moment. Was it his imagination? Fu Wen took out his ID from the inner pocket of his clothes and handed it to him. "My ID." When Fu Wen handed it to him, he covered up the words on the cover, so no one could see clearly. Changfeng took it in confusion, and saw the words on the cover clearly, and his pupils shrank. "What is this?" He opened the inner page in disbelief and read it several times to confirm. He closed his eyes and exhaled a breath, understanding that no matter what happened tonight, he would never be able to question Yunsu. The level of these people was no longer within his reach. Who is this girl? Why are they protected? Changfeng did not dare to think any more. He put his legs together and saluted respectfully. Fu Wen quickly returned the salute. At this moment, the ambulance roared in, and the doctors and nurses hurriedly got out of the car carrying a stretcher, trying to lift Fang Qizi onto the stretcher. Several people helped Fang Qizi to his feet with great effort and were about to put him on the stretcher. "Don't move," Fang Qizi said 2 words with difficulty. The knife in his hand was pressed against the neck of a nurse. The little nurse stiffened up and screamed uncontrollably. "Don't move, stay back, or I'll kill him." Fang Qizi held on with a crazy smile on his face. Damn it, Changfeng couldn't help but curse. He was so shocked that he was careless and didn't even notice Fang Qizi's movements. There were so many of them, but he actually found an opportunity. End of this chapter. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 192. Chapter 192. Danger surrounded. You really can't shed tears until you see the coffin. Yunsu sighed softly, with a smile on his face but no smile in his eyes. The knife in Fang Qizi's hand was pressed tightly against the nurse's neck. The sharp blade drew a trace of blood. The young nurse's face was pale and she did not dare to move. "Fang Qizi, are you crazy?" Qing Lian was shocked and angry, and shouted, "Don't hurt innocent people." "Innocent? What innocent? You forced me to do this. You forced me to come to this point." His eyes were filled with a desperate madness. "Stop talking nonsense and get out of my way, or I will kill her." Changfeng's face turned pale. "Everyone, step back." Wan San, Fu Wen, and others all glanced at Yunsu in a tacit understanding. "Do you want to take action?" Yunsu shook his head, and they immediately understood and retreated together. "Give me the money, my $500,000, no. I want 5 million. Not a penny less." A greedy look flashed across Fang Qizi's face. "This little is so rich," he even said 5 million. "It's relatively small." 5 million, Yunsu was amused. "Do you think you deserve it?" Changfeng glanced at her helplessly. He had 1,000 words in his heart that he didn't know how to complain about. "Do you, a big guy like you, still care about such a needle?" He was very tired, and was defeated under Yunsu's serious eyes. "Report it." Even if the bureau didn't report it, he would report it to her, just asking her to shut up. It turned out that Yunsu said those words deliberately to stimulate Fang Qizi and make him relax his vigilance and expose his flaws. Satisfied, Yunsu nodded and turned to look at the little nurse who was stopping the bleeding and bandaging the wound on her neck. The fear on her face was not gone, she kept sobbing, and her body was shaking slightly. It was obvious that she was extremely scared. "Stop talking," Chang Feng quickly stopped her. He was afraid that Yunsu would irritate Fang Qizi again. "Wait," Yunsu stopped a few people in their tracks. She stepped forward, twisted her hand slightly, and pulled out the golden needle. Hearing the apology, the little nurse raised her head, looked at the apologetic girl in front of her, sobbed and said, I know, you are, to save me, thank you. You handle the rest, Xiao Lu and Xiao Wang follow me. Let's talk about other things until he comes back." Chang Feng and a group of police officers immediately rushed forward to check Fang Qizi's condition. They saw a golden needle inserted into Fang Qizi's temple, 3/3 of the way into his body, and the tail of the needle was still shaking slightly. She took a step forward, her restrained momentum released. "Why do you think you can threaten me?" Fu Wen, Wan San, and other martial arts practitioners knew better how terrifying Yunsu's move was. The distance between Yunsu and Fang Qizi was at least 4 or 5 meters away. With such fast speed and such exquisite strength, everything he could achieve was he is a top expert. The girl's face was cold, as if she didn't care about the life in Fang Qizi's hand. She pointed at Qing Yu. "You can threaten me with her, why do you think she can do it too? The premise of the lion's opening is that the chips in hand are worth the price." Wan San is a little doubtful about life. Why does Miss Yun, who can use this skill, need their protection? Does Mr. Wu have no idea about Miss Yun's skills? The doctors, who had just been frightened and had no one to see them, finally carried Fang Qizi onto a stretcher. Chang Feng was prepared to follow the car in person, fearing that anything unexpected would happen again. "Ah!" the nurse who narrowly escaped death screamed, full of fear. At this moment, when he hesitated and thought, the knife subconsciously relaxed slightly. Yunsu narrowed his eyes, saw the opportunity, and shot like lightning. A golden needle as thin as a hair shot out quickly, piercing the air. When no one could react, they only felt a flash of golden light, and Fang Qizi fell straight down. Unknown to anyone else, the knife in his hand fell down with a sound. They once again refreshed their understanding of Yunsu in their hearts. A few words made the nurse's face turn as white as a sheet of paper. Who can save her? Fang Qizi hesitated for a moment. Could a little nurse really ask her to give him so much money? This little is crueler than anyone else. Yunsu ignored Chang Feng's gesture. Everyone present was shocked. Only such a small needle can make people lose consciousness and fall to the ground in an instant. How terrifying is this ability? Everyone looked at Yunsu with respect and fear. Yunsu took out a pack of tissues and handed it to her with a soft voice. "Wipe it. I didn't mean any harm just now, I'm sorry." She looked at it with a bit of disgust. She really didn't want to use it anymore. She turned her head and said to Chang Feng seriously, "Captain Chang, can you reimburse me for this? She really liked this set of needles." Yunsu smiled and nodded. The little nurse wiped away her tears. For some reason, the fear in her body suddenly dissipated a lot. Under Qing Lian's strong request, Qing Yu couldn't resist her. In order to reassure her mother, she also went to the hospital and had a comprehensive physical examination. Fortunately, there were only some skin injuries. Seeing her father comforting the emotional Aunt Qing and Xiao Yu again, Yunsu exited, went to the corner of the corridor, and made a phone call. "Okay, I understand. I will definitely punish you severely after you find out." Long Changzhen's serious tone was filled with anger, and he was obviously aware of the thrilling scene just now. He will never allow such appalling things to happen under his rule. "Thank you, Longju, sorry for the trouble." Yunsu hung up the phone with cold eyes. "If you dare to do such a thing, you will have to pay the price." Standing by the window, she saw Won-san waiting downstairs and slapped her head. How could she forget him? Yun-soo called Chin Jiao guiltily and explained the cause and effect of the matter so that he didn't have to worry. Yet Chin Jiao replied in a deep voice. Then, it's getting late, go to bed early. Yun-soo looked at the time and saw that it was almost a little over. Okay, good night. Good night. Yun-soo hung up the phone with relief. It was quite easy to coax. Unexpectedly, Chin Jiao over there didn't sleep all night and sat in the room until dawn. He is controlling himself, not to expose his terrible possessiveness in front of Yun-soo and his urge to hide her and protect her so that no one can touch her. He knew Yun-soo wouldn't like him like that, so he could only force himself not to think about terrible things. It's funny to say that the dignified fifth master Chin finally knew the feeling of fear for the first time after living for more than 20 years. Sure enough, love can give people armor and weaknesses. Yun-soo is his weakness. The next day, after knowing all the things that everyone had done for her, Ching-yu felt guilty and grateful at the same time. If she hadn't been easily deceived by Fang Kizi, she wouldn't have had so many people worry about her. She should have known that Fang Kizi was a crazy person who could do anything. Qing Lian took her to the village in the city in person, found Wang Xiahua, and gave him the reward they promised. Wang Xiahua pinched the thick envelope and opened it. He knew more without counting. I only want 5,000, and I will give you the extra, and you can take it back. The little boy was very independent and stubborn. He counted the $5,000 carefully. Xiahua, who is here? An old and weak voice came from inside the house, accompanied by a cough. Wang Xiahua immediately replied loudly, Grandma, she's my friend. It's okay. Qing-yu remembered what her mother had said about Xiahua's only relative, a seriously ill grandmother. She instantly thought of her previous self, which was also the same scene. Her mother was seriously ill and she needed money. When she was desperate, she met Yun-soo. After thinking carefully, she said, okay, we'll get the money back, but I'll help you find a doctor and treat your grandma. You won't refuse this, right? Sure enough, Wang Xiahua hesitated. Can your grandma's illness be delayed? Wang Xiahua was silent for a long time and nodded. He didn't want to owe anyone else, but grandma really couldn't afford to wait. That's right. Qing-yu patted his head with satisfaction. You will be more willing to hold an umbrella for others only after you have been caught in the rain. This is Qing-yu's current state of mind. After Yun-soo and others took notes, the matter came to an end. Fang Kizi was lying in the hospital with wounds all over his body. Changfeng sent people on 3 floors to guard his every move, for fear of another accident. What awaits him will be endless pain and torture. Dad, what are you doing? You are dressed so formally. Yun-soo was eating breakfast and watched her dad change at least 5 sets of clothes. Now he was wearing an extremely formal suit and was taking pictures in front of the mirror. Go. He is fully equipped with a shirt, tie, and trousers. Yun-soo bought these for him before. He has never seen him wear them before. What day is it today? Her dad is so grand. Yoon Daejin fixed his collar and said calmly, it's nothing, your Aunt Ching and I are going to get the certificate today. What? Yun-soo squirted out a mouthful of milk and looked at her father in disbelief. Some time ago, the two of them were still coquettishly unable to muster the courage to get together. What happened now? They both decided to get the certificate. What happened that she didn't know about? Why didn't you tell me? Does Xiao know? Don't you know this? Yoon Daejin spoke in a calm tone, as if Yun-soo was just making a fuss. No, why is it so sudden? Yun-soo really didn't understand. They said that women's hearts are as deep as the bottom of the sea, and she saw that her father's men's hearts were also as deep as the bottom of the sea. Did you propose it or Aunt Cheng? I decided after discussing it with her. Yoon Daejin looked at his astonished daughter and sat down at the dining table. His eyes were distant. After what happened last time, Your Aunt Ching and I feel that life is still too impermanent. You don't know what will happen tomorrow or in the next second. In this case, why not take advantage of the limited time to do your best? What do you want to do? You were right before, your Aunt Ching and I should have more than just each other in our lives. We figured it out and decided naturally. You don't blame Dad, right? How could it be? Yunsu replied hurriedly. You and Aunt Ching decided to be together, and it was too late for me to be happy. How can I blame you? Yunsu looked at the time and urged her father, hurry up. It's a good day. There are many people registering at the Civil Affairs Bureau, so we have to queue up. Okay, Yoon Daejin, who received his daughter's approval, tidied himself up, took his ID and hurried out. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 193. Chapter 193 First Meeting. Come, let's raise a toast together, celebrate this great day. Yoon Daejin's face turned red, his tongue was a bit big, and he had obviously drank a lot. Cheers, everyone cheered, and several glasses touched together. Yoon Daejin and Ching Lian have officially received the certificate to become husband and wife. They have discussed it and there is no need to hold a wedding. They can just have a meal together as a family to celebrate. Today is the happiest day since Yunsu returned to this world. She made an exception and drank a little wine. Everywhere she looked, there were everyone's happy smiling faces. In this world, apart from her father and Xiaoting, Aunt Ching and Xiao were also her closest family members. She changed the outcome of her previous life. Her father became happy and would no longer leave with sorrow, and Xiaoting became a child cared for by a mother. She looked at Qing Yu's side face next to her and murmured softly, "It's so unpredictable." Who would have thought that two girls who took care of each other and relied on each other in prison in their previous life would become the closest sisters in this life? Yunsu has experienced a lot, and he also feels that God's creation is impermanent, and fate are all wonderful. What's wrong? Susu, you're not drunk, are you? Qing Yu turned to look at Yunsu, whose eyes were already a little hazy. She was dumbfounded. Didn't she just drink some rice wine? Why is your face so red? Is Susu's drinking capacity so bad? They helped Yunsu to the bed, carefully tucked her into bed, turned off the light and walked out quietly. She found the cell phone under the pillow and dialed. Qin Jiao was really attracted by Yunsu's cuteness. He couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. Has uncle received the gift? Okay, you're not drunk. Qing Yu felt funny that Susu was so childish when she was drunk. Susu, the man's deep voice came, but no answer was heard for a long time. Okay, we know you're not drunk, you're just sleepy, the two of them said in the same tone as coaxing a child. A few seconds later, the person who was supposed to be sleeping opened his eyes. She lay quietly on the bed, staring at the ceiling and wondering what she was thinking. The blue-white fluorescent light flickered in the room, giving off a faint light. King Yu's first reaction was strange excitement. It turns out that Susu also has a weakness. She thought she knew everything. King Yu mouthed to her mother, "I drank too much." Yunsu turned over, put the phone to his ear, and huddled under the quilt, with only one head exposed. The alcohol had corroded his head, and his reaction was a bit slow. It took a while before he spoke slowly. "I'm really not drunk," Yunsu continued to emphasize while being supported by two people. Then quickly helped her back to the room to rest. Qing Lian stood up. Qin Jiao was infected by her emotions and laughed softly, keenly noticing that she was different from the past. "I only drank a little bit, just a little bit." Yunsu stretched out his thumb and index finger to compare the distance, completely forgetting that Qin Jiao could not see him over there. What's wrong with Susu? Qinglian also looked over. He said in a soft voice, have you been drinking? She would only show the side of her after drinking. Muji, I'm so happy. Her voice was sweet, with a rising tilde at the end, and she was obviously in a very good mood. I'm not drunk. Yunsu tried to open his eyes wide to prove that he was sober. What's wrong? Life is getting better, and Yoon Daejin has nothing to worry about. Recently, one of his diners became obsessed with drinking tea. Qin Jiao knew that today was his future father-in-law's happy day, so he took advantage of it and gave him a cake of tea. I like it, he's so happy. Although Yoon Daejin couldn't tell from his perspective that the tea leaves Qin Jiao sent could buy an apartment in Lanchinge. I would like to give some to uncle next time, Qin Jiao wrote down, preparing to ask Qinju to check if there is any good tea when he encounters an auction or something like that. Okay. With the same soft and sweet tone, Qin Jiao felt soft in his heart. Are you so happy? Of course I'm happy. Yunsu's eyes were not focused, staring into the void in the dark night. His voice was as light as if it came from the sky. My dad is living a good life now. Xiaoting is also very happy. Xiao finally went to college and lived a happy life. She will have the life she dreams of, and she will have a good, long life. I have nothing to regret anymore, which is great. Pity. People often express regret only after experiencing something. What does Susu mean by regret? Qin Jiao frowned. He always felt that Susu's words were a little weird, but he didn't know what the problem was. Putting aside Yun's father and her younger brother Yunting, Qin Jiao always felt that Yunsu paid too much attention to Qingyu. Although they were two people who had no connection, she helped her without reservation again and again. Why? Is there any hidden secret in it? Qin Jiao has always known that there are many things about Yunsu that are difficult to explain, and he also knows that she has many secrets, but he will not ask. He believes that one day Susu will take the initiative to tell him everything. You will also have a good and long life, and we will all have it. Qin Jiao spoke clearly, word for word, as if he was prophesying, and also seemed to be guaranteeing. She talked about so many people, but didn't mention herself at all. Qin Jiao felt densely distressed in his heart. He always had the feeling that Susu was like a tightened string, constantly putting pressure on himself, ready to go at any time. It might break, but today, he was very happy because he finally felt that she had relaxed a little, taking off those hard thorns and defenses. Do you remember the first time we met? Yunsu's voice was distant, as if she was caught in some distant memory. Qin Jiao also brought his thoughts back to the day when he first met Susu. He received the news that Qin Cheng had been intercepted and hurried over. At the entrance of the alley, the girl in white turned her head and left. At a glance, he only saw her side face. Later he realized that this little girl was the one who saved Qin Cheng. Man, I don't know when, her traces in his heart became deeper and deeper, even to the point of being indelible. It was raining that day, Yunsu began to tell. Qin Cheng frowned suddenly. Is it raining? Wasn't it a sunny day? I was in a mess, and you were passing by. I didn't know why you stopped for me. I got in the car, and I was not even conscious when you were taking me to the hospital. I started talking nonsense, and you sat next to me. The look in my eyes didn't change at all, and for many years to come, I still remember the look in your eyes and what you said. Qin Jiao's brows furrowed deeper and deeper. What Yunsu said was completely inconsistent with his memory. In his memory, he had never sent her to the hospital. Did she mistake others for him? No wonder she called out his name right away in the hotel. Qin Jiao pursed his lips tightly and his mind was a little confused. I've remembered that sharp smell of cedar for many years, and finally, we met again. Her voice became weaker and weaker, and gradually disappeared between her lips and teeth. Qin Jiao, who knew that Yunsu had fallen asleep, hung up the phone and lit a cigarette. He had no craving for cigarettes and would only smoke when his mood was ups and downs and he was extremely depressed. He needs to calm down now. The cedar flavor Yunsu mentioned was made by a professional perfumer. It is unique in the world and there will never be another identical flavor. It is possible that Susu recognized the wrong person, but she is a doctor and can clearly identify the flavors of countless Chinese herbal medicines. How could she remember a single flavor incorrectly? But there is indeed no memory in his memory that Susu recounted, so what exactly went wrong? Qin Jiao somehow felt that uncovering the answer to this question might unlock the secret of Yunsu. 1 month after Qingyu was kidnapped, Fang Qizi finally went to court and he will face legal trial. The verdict of this court is as follows: the suspect Fang Qizi, male, 46 years old, was sentenced to 15 years in prison for committing the crime of kidnapping and intentional injury. The circumstances of the crime were true and the nature of the crime was egregious. It will be executed immediately. The judge made the final decision. Fang Qizi stood on the dock and shouted crazily, "I don't accept it. I want to appeal. I want to appeal." The bailiff ignored Fang Qizi's frantic shouting and escorted him out. At a glance, he saw the Yunsu family sitting in the gallery. Seeing the hateful eyes of several people and the bright sarcastic smile on Yunsu's face, his eyes turned red instantly, and he tried to break away from the bailiff with great strength and tried to rush up. "Bitch! Bitch! I will never let you go. Just wait. Wait." Fang Qizi didn't take 2 steps before he was subdued by the bailiff and forcibly taken away. Yunsu looked back and said, "Let's go." He was just a struggling clown, not worthy of her attention anymore. "Okay, go home, cook something delicious today, Susu's favorite fish, Xiaoyu's favorite ribs, and Alian's favorite prawns. I'll cook them all for you today." "What about me? What about me?" Yunting became anxious when he heard that his father didn't even think of him after he finished reading. "Xiaoting," Yun Daijin deliberately paused for a second and then said slowly, "Of course I won't forget it. There is also the garlic vermicelli scallops that our Xiaoting loves to eat." The family walked out chatting and laughing. The sun was warm outside, enough to heal all the darkness and wounds. End of this chapter. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 194. Chapter 194 Fields Medal. With the storm over, Yunsu has received another piece of good news. The International Congress of Mathematicians is about to be held. The organizer of the International Congress of Mathematicians is the International Mathematical Union, which is held every 4 years. The conference is held by mathematicians from various countries for mathematical exchanges, discussions, and presentation of mathematical results. It is a grand event in the mathematics community. In addition, several heavyweight awards will be awarded at the Mathematicians Conference, such as the Fields Medal, Gauss Medal, Chen Shengshen Medal, etc., which are extremely valuable and authoritative awards in the mathematics community. Yunsu not only received an invitation to attend, but was also nominated for the Fields Medal. The Fields Medal is named after the educator and mathematician John Fields. It is specially designed to reward outstanding achievements by young mathematicians under the age of 40 in the field of mathematics. The prize is a gold medal and US $1,500, every 4 years. It is awarded once, with no more than 4 winners each time. It is called the Nobel Prize in Mathematics, and its gold content can be seen as average. The 29th International Congress of Mathematicians will be held in Country E in February next year. It will only last for less than 3 months. Logically speaking, the selection of nominees has already ended, but Yunsu Hong Kong proved the Riemann hypothesis. After the birth, the International Mathematical Union unanimously passed a resolution, allowing Yunsu to enter the list of nominees. Before Yunsu, the record for the youngest Fields Medal winner was 27 years old, and so far, only 2 Chinese mathematicians have won the Fields Medal. Therefore, when Yunsu won the Fields Medal at the age of 17, when he was nominated, the whole country of China was excited. Newspapers, online media, were all over the place with this exciting news. The popularity of entertainment news was completely covered up. Everyone was discussing crazily. Countless bald netizens who learned mathematics worshipped the big man and even gave him thoughtful words. Popular science among netizens who don't understand. Fields medal? I'm stupid. I know my sister is awesome, but this is too awesome. Before clicking in, I thought I was well prepared, but I was still shocked to the core. Oh my god. This math dog is going crazy. Sisters upstairs, wait for me, I want to brush 2 sets of physics papers. Dash without. Holy shit, right? This analysis seems to make some sense. The truth is indeed this, but the discomfort is also really uncomfortable, so I won't talk about it anymore and I'm going to finish my questions. Today I have to finish a set of math papers before I can sleep. Real name verification of fans of this fan club, it is indeed like this. My sister doesn't even have an endorsement, and I feel like I can't even spend money on her, it's so annoying. Dash really? Score. Since the person above is protecting your sister, how could anyone without a long-sighted mind dare to ask her to speak for you? Wouldn't this delay the children's ability to shine on the road of science? As soon as this comment came out, whether they were fans of Yoonsu or netizens who just liked melons, they flooded into Yoonsu's Weibo. Passers-by were stunned. I said Yoonsu's fans are the most popular in the entertainment industry, no one would object, right? Holy shit. When I said that, I understood, awesome. No, I don't quite understand, don't blame me, is this award awesome? My sister's support club is probably the most leisurely, because there are no activities to support. Refresh history, my sister is awesome. The internet has already gone viral. Dash, what is this? Our 60-year-old professor in the Department of Mathematics had tears in his eyes. He excitedly took a quick acting Juxin pill, which shocked us to death. Unfortunately, my sister's material is too little. I've already finished watching the first few episodes of Saturday Night and the Chronicles of Taemgin, woo woo woo. No, the sisters in front of me, don't leave, hurry up and check out my sister's Weibo. There's big news. The exam is tomorrow, I have to go to my sister's Weibo to say goodbye. Let's put it this way, this award is equivalent to the Nobel Prize in Science, the Oscar in film and television, and the Olympics in sports. Are you saying it's awesome? Human beings and human brains do have walls. Please take me with you next time you evolve. The important point is that the International Congress of Mathematicians will be held soon. If my sister's chance of winning is not high, there is no need to intervene at this time, so. Her last Weibo post was the one she reposted from the broadcast of the Chronicles of Taemgin. Just 5 minutes ago, she posted her latest Weibo post. Dash what? What? Did I see it wrong? Birthday party. Sister, you read that right? Series in my lifetime. I am dead. I was wrong, I am not a qualified mother, I don't even know my daughter's birthday, woo woo woo, wait, mom will definitely come to see you. That's right, because there are really too many fans on Yoonsu's Weibo urging her to post some daily posts, and there are many fans who have many sincere feelings. Yoonsu can't bear to ignore the thoughts of these people. Her birthday was just 2 days away. Chin Shui directly suggested that Yoonsu invite some fans to hold a small birthday party. Yoonsu agreed after thinking for a long time. Today is another day when the nominations for the Fields Medal are released. As soon as her Weibo post was posted, it was explosive news and quickly became a hot search topic. Very good, I only need to walk another 1,215 kilometers to attend my sister's birthday party, smile. JPG. I am 1,853 kilometers. I didn't want to go either, but she said she would reimburse all the traveling expenses. Lanchinge, I'm in Lanchinge ha 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 ha. No, everyone, wake up, this has nothing to do with distance, it's a lottery, there are only 100 places, my sister now has tens of millions of fans, there is a 1 in 100,000 chance that I will get numb. The proud smile suddenly froze. Why remind me? Please, please give me more places. Please, please. Those younger sisters who are still in school, why don't you compete with your older sisters? Isn't it nice to study hard? Your family won't agree, right? Sorry, my parents helped me grab it together, they both supported me, he. I asked everyone from my dad's company to rob me. I don't believe it. Why go to all this trouble? When someone grabs it, just ask if it's available, and make an arbitrary price. What my sister is most in need of is money. I admire your ability. Yunchin's classmates silently peeked at the screen, feeling proud. JPG. Come here. Go out upstairs, there is a traitor among us. A person who draws hatred, right? My sister is about to win an award, and you're still scrolling through Weibo. Why don't you hurry up and study? Yoon-soo, a classmate who was happily scrolling through Weibo, suddenly froze his smiling face and remained silent for a long time. He silently took out the math test paper and answered the questions with tears streaming down his face. As expected, magic must be used to defeat magic. There are still 5 days until Yoon-soo's birthday. The 100 birthday party quotas are not just a matter of simply paying attention to reposts. You also need to check the various data and comments of fans and strictly check them. If something is wrong, you will be kicked out immediately. The purpose of making a candidate list is to prevent interested people from getting in. Yoon-soo was as busy as a top and had no time to do all this, so Lian Yu and Yao Shuij volunteered to let them handle the various processes of designing the birthday party. Although she felt something was wrong, she still let them do it without thinking too much. Only later did Yoon-soo know what regret was. Now is the time when everyone is frantically competing for the pitifully few spots. Some people reposted the koi carp for body protection, and some even burned incense and prayed to Buddha for blessing. Netizens who eat melons are overjoyed to see Yoon-soo's fans doing all kinds of things. One night passed, and 100 quotas were announced. Those who got the quota were overjoyed. The first thing they did was to show off on Weibo, and then they immediately started booking flights regardless of the distance. More fans who didn't get a spot were wailing on Weibo, and some people were asking if anyone got a spot, but those who participated were all true fans of Yoon-soo, and almost none of them would give up their quota. A very few people could not resist the attack of money and bowed their heads. Yoon-soo has been busy at the research institute recently. The experimental materials need to be transferred to the experimental base. Everyone is doing the final finishing work. Naturally, she doesn't know how much noise she thought was caused by a small birthday party. Even Yuji and others are mysterious and have to reveal the answer on the birthday party, so the protagonist Yoon-soo has no idea what the birthday party is like. Yoon-soo still wanted to spend her birthday with her family. After all, this was the first birthday of Aunt Ching and Ching in their family. She still wanted the family to spend it together again, so the birthday would be the day before her birthday. Held. The birthday party was held in the afternoon. In order to comfort the fans who could not attend, it was live broadcast. The birthday party had not even started yet, but the live broadcast room was already full of people, frantically scrolling to warm up. Watching from the front row. Is my sister still busy now? It's really hard work. Sit back and wait for your sister to appear. Happy birthday, sister. Throw flowers. Happy 17th birthday. I really want to go there. Cried. To be honest, I regret selling my place. I cried so loudly. If I were to climb over it, how could I possibly sell it? Where is this place? Why are you always facing the stage? Nothing can be seen clearly. Although I can't see clearly, from the way I just came in, it looks very expensive. In order to prevent the address from being exposed and attracting many people to watch, everyone was sent to the venue after arriving at the airport or station. A few fans in the same city even enjoyed the treatment of private transportation. Not to mention the fans in the live broadcast room, the fans at the scene were really frightened. It's not that they have never seen the world. The pick-up and drop-off cars were luxury cars, and the venue was the famous Yulon. Although there are some fans from wealthy families among them, they also want to know where Yulan got such a big private room. It's almost as big as a small auditorium. Hello, everyone, a magnified handsome face appeared on the screen, and everyone was startled. End of this chapter. After Rebirth, boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 195. Chapter 195 Birthday Party. What are you doing? Get out of the way. Before everyone could react, the girl's angry voice came, and a white hand slapped the boy's face away. Yao Shuij. Are you crazy? How dare you hit me in the face? Lian Yu was furious. Who told you to stay here? Does everyone want to see you? Are you so close? Netizen, we want to see it. Who wouldn't want to see a handsome brother? Yao Shuij came closer to the camera, waved and said hello, hello, can everyone see clearly? Her round face looked very cute in front of the camera, and her big eyes blinked so hard that the hearts of the sisters in front of the screen melted. Can see clearly. Who are these two people? Doesn't he look like a staff member? Judging from his age, he should be my sister's friend, right? The girl looks so cute. The boy is quite handsome too. These two are happy enemies, right? Tearing it apart as soon as it comes, ha ha ha. I just want to see my sister. When will my sister come out? Yunsu raised her eyes and saw that amid the cheers of fans, her footsteps stopped abruptly. Silence followed silence. Why do I seem to hear my sister's voice? What are the cameras doing? Turn the camera quickly. What are you doing facing the wall? Very good, Lian Yu nodded with satisfaction. So far, everything has gone smoothly. Give me that word. Yunsu pressed his forehead. What are these things? Sister Yun, here. Lian Yu stood at Yu Ian's door, waving from a distance. Inside, let me tell you, Sister Yun, Uncle Qin specially asked to stay here today. This is the first time Yulan has made an exception. Uncle Qin has never cared about this before. You are so proud. Friends on site and in the live broadcast room, please be quiet. Our protagonist today is still on the way. Please be patient, he will be here soon. What is the layout like? I'm so curious. After a long time, veins popped out on her forehead, and she gritted her teeth and forced out a death-like smile. Is this the result of your arrangements for 2 days? The roommates also had expressions that were hard to explain. They were all dumbfounded when they first came in. Yunsu came out of the research institute and hurried to Yulan. It was already a bit cold now, and she was a person who was afraid of the cold. Even though today was a birthday party, she just casually wore a black coat and her hair to reveal a smooth little face. Here we are. Everyone is inside. Lian Yu opened the hollow carved door, leaned over slightly, and blinked. Please come, birthday girl. Xiao, I'm so excited. Gu Yu and his roommate sat in the first row, talking quietly. Yunsu touched her nose. It was more than just that. If she hadn't tried to stop him, Qin Jiao would have wanted to do it himself. Okay. The 100 fans at the scene looked excited and tried to control their expressions. They are the most qualified fans and must not embarrass their sister. Gu Yu was also very excited, but calmer than her. She looked at the surrounding decorations. This dress. Yao Shuij, who had just walked over, looked at Yunsu's face, stuck out his tongue, and did not dare to answer. Yunsu walked in, and the waiter at the door immediately greeted her. "Yes, we put a lot of thought into it, doesn't it look good?" Lianyu was about to ask for praise, but when he saw something was wrong with Yunsu's expression, he asked cautiously. "Is everyone here?" She still can't believe that she and Xiao have both got places. My sister's voice has changed, ha ha ha. No wonder the fans who just looked at the scene had such strange expressions. Qin Chengxiang, who was temporarily acting as a cameraman, heard everyone's call and silently turned the camera, and the entire venue came into view. Dash ha 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 ha. What the is this? My eyes were flashed. Dash help. What kind of straight male aesthetic is this? I only have eyes for my younger sister, who is so pretty even without makeup, but her face is a bit green. Can this not be green? If only I wanted to turn around and leave. Yunsu also wanted to leave. When she looked around, she saw all pink decorations, pink balloons, pink background walls, fans tablecloths, pink cakes and a huge pink stuffed bear. She felt like she was about to be taken away. The pink flash blinded me, and there was no other color in my eyes. She took a deep breath, rubbed her stung eyes and asked, "Whose idea was this?" "It's him," Yao Shuij pointed at Lianyu and reported immediately, "I said it should be made bright yellow, how cute it is." Bright yellow? Yunsu thought for a moment. Is it any better? Yunsu regretted it now, she still believed in them too much. In front of the camera, Yunsu controlled the urge to hit someone. She tried her best to smile and patted Lianyu on the shoulder, "You did it well. Don't do it next time. Sister, if you do it again, I will do it to you." It's impossible to hide the look in a person's eyes. My sister is going blind, but I really want to laugh, ha 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 ha. Lianyu moved to Qin Cheng's side aggrievedly, "Brother Cheng, tell me, is it really that ugly?" Qin Cheng, "Yes. A minute ago, he actually thought it looked pretty good." Lianyu ran away crying. Yunsu walked to the stage and moved a little further away from the big pink heart in the middle of the background wall. Seeing her little movement, the fans in the audience burst into laughter again. "Hello everyone, I'm Yunsu," she said while holding the microphone. As soon as I said hello, there was a burst of screams from the audience, and the screen in the live broadcast room was also crazy. "Hush!" Yunsu put his finger to his lips to signal everyone to be quiet. 100 or so people were instantly as quiet as chickens, just like they had been trained to do. "Thank you all for traveling thousands of miles to come here today. As you all know, I am not a star. You are the brightest star in my heart." Some fans in the audience immediately took the opportunity to express their love. "Thank you." Yunsu smiled widely at the girl who was speaking. The girl immediately covered her heart and blushed. Others gritted their teeth secretly. They actually used this method to attract their sister's attention. How careless they were. A man who was watching the live broadcast said dissatisfiedly, "Girls nowadays are really, really noisy." The fifth master was reduced to the point of being jealous of an unknown little girl. Chinju, who was looking at his nose and heart, controlled his facial expression. He was afraid that he would not be able to hold back his laughter. "Because I can't be active on the internet or TV media, I'm sorry to everyone here, but I still feel everyone's kindness and love for me. I can't express it in words, I can only thank you." "You're welcome, no need to apologize." There was another chorus of shouts, and many girls with shallow eyes secretly wiped their tears because of Yunsu's sincere words. Sister is so heartwarming and even apologizes to them. Isn't it true that no one on the internet openly and implicitly said that they, Yunsu fans, don't know what they are chasing after? They are neither in the circle nor have any works. There has been no news for a long time. They don't know what to say if they want to refute. But now, they can say loudly, "If you follow your sister, you won't lose money if you invest in it. Sister is so good. Woo woo woo." I regret once again why I didn't go to the scene. I wish my soul could penetrate someone present. Yeah, I'm really afraid that this will be my sister's only birthday party, and I'll cry to death. Yoon-soo continued, I don't know how to do things in the entertainment industry. Today, let's take it easy and treat it as friends. Let's chat together. If you have any questions you want to ask me, you can ask me casually. Live broadcast I will also pick out some answers to the questions in the room. Later, I will also open the gifts everyone gave me. Let's look at them together and have fun with me. Finally, let's cut the cake, okay? Good. Everyone answered in unison that the word in the live broadcast room was also crazy. Shen Jinzu, who was specially guarding the live broadcast room, almost didn't recognize the word anymore. Yoon-soo looked at the audience and felt that the distance was a bit far. She directly supported it with one hand and jumped to the audience neatly. "Ah, I'm dead, I'm dead," the roommate squeezed Guyu's hand and screamed softly. Grain Yu's face was flushed and she couldn't feel the pain at all. At this moment, Yoon-soo was standing less than 1 meter in front of her, and she was suffocating within the reach of her hand. This location is about the same, a little closer to everyone. I hate. Why am I not the one in front of my sister? I should have known about this treatment and distance. I'm going to spend all my money trying to get a spot. I can see my sister's eyelashes clearly, I cried so loudly. Do you have anything you want to ask? Seeing that everyone's emotions had almost calmed down, Yoon-soo asked. Who moves so fast? When everyone took a look, it turned out to be the scheming girl just now. Okay, what do you want to ask? I would like to ask for the bald admissions director of our school, sister, which university will you choose to go to? No one expected the first question to be like this, and Yoon-soo was also stunned for a moment. I'm from Beijing University, the girl added. Good guy, I'm from Beijing University, I can't do this. Yoon-soo couldn't help laughing. Does Director Sun know that you said he is bald? The girl's face froze. Why did she forget that it was a live broadcast? It's over, it's over. Ha 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 ha. I laughed like crazy. Director Sun, you wanted to hit someone after hearing this. Director Sun, I'm sorry to meet you in this way. She will be expelled tomorrow for stepping into the school gate with her left foot first, ha ha ha. For the sake of Director Sun's hair, my current consideration may still be watching. This means that Director Sun doesn't have to worry about it, she has already made her choice. Okay, the girl sat down disappointedly, her wish to go to the same university as her sister was shattered, woo woo woo. This is the first time that Yoon-soo has made it clear that he will go to Hwaking to study. The Hwaking students in the live broadcast room are already cheering. I thought the same way when I was a kid. I had to choose between Hwaking University and Beijing University. You can also choose between roasted sweet potatoes and roasted corn. No. My sister said it's possible, we at Beijing University still have a chance. It is not impossible for our University of Science and Technology. Jongdo will never admit defeat. Others were stunned. Why did it suddenly become a battle for recruiting students in major universities? I thought everyone was a scumbag, but it turns out it's just me. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After Rebirth, boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 196. Chapter 196 fans. Okay, next question. A boy wearing glasses stood up. He was one of the few boys present. He was full of bookishness. He pushed up his glasses and took out a piece of paper. I want you to help me solve this advanced math problem, can you? What? Solve the problem? Everyone was dumbfounded. Now, Yunsu asked. Right. Okay, Yunsu took the paper in his hand and panned the camera to glance at the title on the paper. Just ask if you don't understand, is there any big problem in English now? Good guy, are you here for tutoring? I suspect this is a fake fan. A problem arises at this time. Can it be done? No, let me ask. Everyone sat upright with excited expressions, hoping that Yunsu would choose the gift they gave. Guyu also realized that he shouldn't ask this question, and looked a little panicked. Do you have a pen? Suddenly feeling ashamed, I am so useless. Since. Is this okay? So annoying, so annoying. If I had been there, my gift might have been opened by my sister. It doesn't matter, you can ask whatever you want. Ha 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 ha, everyone was amused. Qin Jiao's face was soothed, that's right. Yunsu took a look and saw that it was a very difficult question for undergraduates. I want to ask, what kind of person does Susu think movie Emperor Gu is? Guyu was so nervous that he accidentally said what he wanted to ask. Yunsu didn't know about the entertainment industry's cliches about censorship. She really thought she was asking what she thought of Gu Sushi. She thought about it carefully and answered, Gu actor Gu is a very serious and responsible person for his work, and he is a friendly person and, it was a pleasure working with him. Next, I will open some gifts from everyone on the spot. Thank you very much. Yunsu has already said on Weibo that she is not allowed to send expensive gifts, and she will not accept them as long as they are thoughtful. She will like it? With this little time, I didn't even understand the question. Let's all look at each other, good. It was a very official answer. My sister didn't even understand what the fan who asked the question meant. It seemed like CP fans were going to cry. CP fans can't just enclose their own territory and be cute, he actually danced in front of the real master. At this moment, my friend and I were complaining to each other about why we were not drawn. We were all so disappointed. As expected, it is the most popular fan group in the entertainment industry. The people present didn't understand, but the majority of netizens in the live broadcast room did. Guyu was calm on the surface, but in fact she was a socially anxious person. She was still making mental preparations, and her roommate was so anxious that she grabbed her hand and raised it. Here. Sister is so awesome. Yunsu walked to the left side of the stage where the gifts were piled up. Fortunately, the packaging of these gifts was not uniformly pink. Xiaoyu, raise your hands quickly, Guyu's roommate kept encouraging her, this opportunity is not to be missed. When Gusu is the best actor. Everyone looked confused, why was he mentioned? Only a small number of people suddenly became excited. Pen, yes, the boy was stunned for a moment, and immediately took out the pen and gave it to her. Didn't he need to think so quickly? In order to save time, Yunsu wrote down the rough problem-solving process in a few strokes, and then handed it back to the boy, you should be able to understand it now. Yunsu's gaze came over, but she was only 1 meter away. Guyu clearly felt that her face was burning red. She stood up and hesitated, not knowing what to say. Here comes someone. Get rid of these CP fans. Ha ha ha, my friend was selected, and I asked her to help lead it. I understand. Thank you. I will definitely continue to work hard. As your fan, I won't embarrass you. The boy's eyes brightened, he thanked him and sat back down. Thank you Susu. Guyu sat down quickly after receiving the answer. This little brother's awareness is really high. Is this the legendary high-quality fan? Okay, come on. Yunsu didn't even know how to answer this. You can ask some lighter questions, otherwise I will feel like I am giving an academic report again. My sister is only 17 years old. The questions that followed were no longer strange. The atmosphere was very good. Yunsu finally opened his mouth to end the session. Here comes the highlight. The boy took it eagerly, looked at it carefully, frowned and thought, completely immersed in his own world. What happened? CP fans actually got in. Qin Jiao's face was as dark as the bottom of a pot while watching the live broadcast. What question was he asking? Are there really no normal fans? What are you asking about? Refuse to be bound by any CP, my sister is alone and beautiful. Tear one apart first. Yunsu simply sat down on the ground and unwrapped a gift in a few moments. The box was a bit big, and Yunsu was looking forward to it. It felt like unwrapping a blind box. The camera also looked away. Yunsu looked at the box in silence for 3 seconds and took out the contents. It turned out to be a bouquet of flowers beautifully wrapped in colored paper. It's just broccoli. It's so big that Yunsu's family can conservatively eat 2 or 3 meals. Who gave this? Me, a young fan stood up with bright eyes. I originally wanted to send a bouquet of flowers, but it was difficult to carry, so I gave this, broccoli. It's very nutritious, and it's the largest and best looking broccoli I've ever picked in the market. As she spoke, she sounded proud. This. Holy ha 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 ha. Is this really a birthday gift that an intelligent life form can come up with? Those who like broccoli and those who don't like broccoli are silent. What kind of appearance does a broccoli need? Does it also depend on the year? Yes, at least it is very edible and will not be wasted. Thank you, Yunsu said in a difficult tone. Lian Yu smiled crookedly at Qin Cheng, and the live broadcast room was almost going crazy with laughter. Next. It is a rectangular box. This should be relatively normal, right? Yunsu opened the box. There was a layer of white plastic wrapped inside, and underneath the oval was a long handle. This is a badminton racket. Yunsu tore open the plastic sheet to reveal his true face. A huge wooden rice spoon appeared in her eyes, and Yunsu's pupils trembled on the spot. This is a gift from me. Before Yunsu could ask, someone came out eagerly to claim it. I gave this rice spoon to Susu in the hope that she can eat more. You are too thin, and my mother feels sorry for you. Fans felt that the gift they gave was very good. Yunsu was holding this huge rice spoon that could hold at least 2 or 3 kilograms of rice. She felt very tired. Even if she was a pig, she couldn't eat so much. Ha 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 ha. I can't survive anymore. I can't live without laughing anymore. I clearly saw that my sister's eyes were dull, ha ha ha. Let's just say, is there really no gift from a normal fan? Too much sand sculpture vermicelli content. Very good, this spoon can just be used to hold the broccoli. The fans at the scene almost burst into laughter. The camera shook twice visibly to the naked eye. It was because Qin Cheng couldn't hold back his laughter and his hands shook. Very good, thank you. Next one. Yunsu quickly stuffed the spoon back into the box. This time, Yunsu made a careful choice and picked a box that was tightly packaged and not fancy. It still had some weight when he shook it with his hand. She opened the box carefully with eyes that were more careful than dismantling a bomb. This is a set of 5 and 3. Yunsu breathed a sigh of relief. Although she couldn't use it, it turned out to be the most normal gift at present. I like this gift very much, thank you. This thank you is much more sincere than the previous one. Oh, no, the fan who gave the gift hurriedly stood up. It turned out to be the girl who first took the opportunity to confess to Yunsu, I am a senior high school student, and I bought this set of 53s specially. I hope you can you sign it for me? Sign. Yes, it has gone through a series of steps such as fasting, burning incense, and blessing scriptures. Now it is only one step away from enlightenment. No, it has the signature of the God of study. With these, I will definitely be able to do well in the exam after finishing this set of books. Results, the girl vowed. Yunsu was numb, and it was indeed too early to be happy. There was a burst of laughter that could almost lift the roof. Sure enough, I was still too naive, thinking that there was finally a normal person. My sister obviously thought the same thing just now. Another person carrying private goods. I bet a pack of spicy strips. She just wanted to say that she was an eminent monk. Who can tell me how to fast, burn incense, and bless the scriptures in a set of books? I am shamefully a little moved. I also. I don't want to be moved either, but this is Wusan with a whole set of blessings. Feudal superstition is unacceptable. Even though she said this, she still took a deep breath and accepted her fate. Okay, I'll sign it for you. She directly took the pen and signed each book one by one, with the flying and phoenix characters appearing in front of the camera. Wow. My sister is so doting too. All requirements are met. Yes, it was obviously her birthday, but fans came to make wishes. I don't understand, but I am greatly shocked. Yunsu signed each book, but when she touched the last one, she felt a different touch that made her stop. She took out a colorful notebook. It's a book I made myself. The little girl who was so generous just now blushed slightly, a little shy. I didn't know what gift to buy, so I just bought all your pictures and images that I could see online. Printed it out and made this. Yunsu slowly opened the book and wrote a sentence on the title page, "To the star in my heart." She paused and continued to turn. Each page contained a photo, from the photo taken from the video of Yunsu riding horses on the internet to the photo of her winning CMO and IMO gold medals, and then to Princess Jining. Some stills and photos of her at the seminar and so on. The camera continued to look at the photos. The little girl was very careful and marked the date, event, and what she wanted to say next to each photo. Everyone who was laughing fell silent, and there was a brief silence in the live broadcast room. The book is not thick, so Yunsu flipped through it quickly. The last page contained only 4 words, "To be continued." Her eyes were a little sore. She looked at the nervous little girl, smiled slightly, and said seriously, "Thank you, I really like this gift." End of this chapter. After Rebirth, boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 197. Chapter 197 Stars and You. What a thoughtful person. My sister was very moved. Woo woo woo, I take back what I just said. I will always surrender to my sincerity. Some fans are attracted to this book. Can you provide a link? I want to own this book too. I also. This is what others want. Don't you think you can do it yourself? Really speechless. The atmosphere of the sand sculpture was instantly brought back to normal. Yunsu opened some more gifts, which were relatively normal, such as beautiful cups, crystal that made snow, cute dolls, massagers to relax her, etc. There were so many that Yunsu's hands were exhausted before the step came to an end. Finally, it's time to cut the cake with everyone. One song passed, and before Yunsu opened her eyes, everyone asked her to make a wish in unison. Yunsu, who originally thought it was just a ritual, became more serious and silently made her wish. At first they were considerate of how tired Yunsu was, and no one offered to ask Yunsu to sign, except for the one who signed 53, but they didn't expect that she was already ready. Not to mention that so many signatures were all signed by herself. This souvenir alone is worth several thousand. My sister is really nice. It doesn't matter whether it's eggs or cake, I just want my sister to cut it for me with her own hands. Yunsu took a breath and blew out the candles. After she cut the first cake, Lian Yu and others came up to help. There were about 100 people in the audience. There was no need for anyone to take the lead. The 100 fans in the audience and everyone squatting in the live broadcast room all sang along in tacit understanding. I really want to eat it too. Woo woo woo. There are 7 layers of cake, just in 7 colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Yunsu felt a little bad looking at the horrible colors. Needless to say, this was also made by Lian Yu. Warmth flashed through the bottom of my heart, touching emotions burst out, and even some girls with low tears had their eyes red. Cut the cake and distribute plates and forks very quickly. Even if there are many people, everyone can quickly get a piece of cake. After eating the cake, the birthday party was coming to an end. Just when everyone thought it was about to leave, Yunsu spoke. This gift was the only one that Yunsu saw and participated in during the entire birthday party. Lian Yu waved his hand and the happy birthday song started playing. Fans looked at the heavy box in their hands and were stunned. Are there any souvenirs? There is no need to look at the contents inside. The box alone looked like it was worth a lot of money. Guyu held back her inner excitement and opened the box. After looking at the contents inside, her eyes widened. A bottle of famous brand perfume, a luxury brand silk scarf, and a customized keychain with Yunsu's Q version profile picture, but what surprised them most was that there was a photo signed by Yunsu. She closed her eyes, keeping her eyes out of sight. Jealousy has changed me beyond recognition. Okay, blow out the candles. Lian Yu and Qin Chen moved out a huge box, and Yao Shuij and Shen Jinzu helped distribute it. Everyone, wait a moment, there are some small gifts for everyone. I don't know if there will be another chance, alas. Others are not important, I just want that signature. Is it signed by a sister? I can give you a high price. None of the fans who can go to the scene will come out. Of course, if you throw money at it, I didn't say anything. There are no sponsors for this birthday party. They arranged it all themselves. Is my sister so rich? Actually, the most expensive thing is this venue, which is Yulan, no one recognizes it. Holy shit. Yulan. Is it the Yulan who spends more than 5 figures on any meal? That's right, and this venue seems to be a hall they don't open to the public. I don't know how they booked it. Awesome. So dignified. After the last group photo was taken at the scene, everyone was already exiting one after another. When the door opened, Yu Ian's waiter was waiting outside, with a cart next to him. Hello, this is the special cake that Miss Yun asked us to prepare, please take it. The waiter smiled and handed over the exquisite box in his hand. There are still more. Everyone was shocked by the surprises one after another. They didn't know how to react for a moment. The netizens in the live broadcast room were already overwhelmed by jealousy. Why are you standing there in a daze? Pick up. Already rushing to the scene in a hurry. You are so happy to be a fan of my sister. After walking out with their things in both hands, the car that took them to the airport station was already waiting there. They suddenly had the illusion that they were not here to attend a birthday party. Instead, they felt like they were with a free tour group. Isn't this right? Are you still carrying specialties in your hands? After everyone recovered, they immediately uploaded the photos they took to Weibo in excitement, which attracted a lot of exclamations and envy. Together with the screenshots previously posted by netizens in the live broadcast room, entries related to Yunsu's birthday party immediately became popular. Search. Someone recorded the screen and posted it, and everyone laughed and was moved at other times. Yunsu was exhausted physically and mentally after the birthday party. This kind of birthday party only needs to be held once, there will be no next time. She went home after telling Lian Yu and the others to come home for dinner tomorrow. Okay, let's do the calculation again tomorrow, and it's almost done. After returning home, she had a conference call with colleagues who were still working overtime at the institute. She looked at the time and saw that it was already past 11 o'clock. She walked into the bathroom to wash up, and when she came out, she saw that her phone was vibrating. Miji, she didn't know when she had become familiar with this title and this person, and she showed her most relaxed side in front of him. Are you happy today? Qin Jiao's voice was tired, as he had been busy for another day. I'm very happy. It feels amazing to have so many people like it. Although she has no intention of continuing to develop in the entertainment industry, the feeling of being liked is not bad, and this feeling is different from family, friendship, and love. It is a very subtle feeling, as if you are standing there quietly, just like there will be a steady stream of likes coming to you. Then we can do it every year from now on. Yunsu thought about everything today and said honestly, it's better to forget it. Qin Jiao also realized what he was wearing today. He laughed softly and said, I'll come next time. The next time it will be the little girl's 18th birthday, the coming-of-age ceremony must be extremely grand. Qin Jiao glanced at the time, 11:58. Can you see out the window? Yes, Yunsu glanced out the window. What's wrong? Look out the window. What? Yunsu was inexplicable. When he looked out the window, his eyes widened. Thousands of drones caught her eye, like twinkling stars. They flew over the city, arranged neatly and well proportioned, and strictly followed the instructions. This is it. She put down the things in her hands, walked to the window, and looked at it dreamily. The light in her eyes was brighter than the stars outside the window. The light of the drone illuminated a small area of the night sky. They were like fireflies or scattered fireworks. They gathered and then left. The stars were dotted and shining brightly. Happy birthday, Susu. The large characters composed of 6 drones were suspended in the air. Many people noticed the sight and exclaimed, it's so romantic. Shoot it quickly. The time just reached 0, and Qin Jiao's voice came over, with endless tenderness and blessings, happy birthday, my little girl. Yunsu's throat rolled, and she suppressed the astringency in her heart. After a long time, she thanked her in a hoarse voice, thank you. I prefer to hear thank you in person. In person? Yunsu's eyes widened, and he reflexively looked downstairs. The black car was parked there quietly, and the man next to him had been standing there for an unknown length of time. I'll be down right away. Get dressed and come down again, Qin Jiao said immediately. The weather has turned cold now, and the little girl is afraid of the cold. Where are you going so late? Yun Daijin heard the noise and came out. Dad, I'm going downstairs and I'll be right back. Yunsu put on her shoes and rushed out the door. What's wrong with this child? Yun Daijin was confused. Qing Lian came out with her clothes on. Thinking of the scene she just saw outside the window, she had a guess in her heart. She smiled meaningfully and said, let's go to bed. Susu is a big girl. She is so smart. How can you still? Are you worried? It's just because she's so smart that I don't trust her, Yun Daijin muttered and returned to his room. I admire it. Qin Jiao watched the little girl running toward him with smiles in his eyes. He opened his hands, and Yunsu jumped directly into his arms and hugged her full. She buried her head and rubbed his shoulder affectionately. Why are you here? Qin Jiao rubbed her head and sighed with satisfaction. With the little girl in his arms, he finally had a sense of reality. Because I want to be the first person to say happy birthday to you. Yunsu's birthday is tomorrow, and it is already past 12 o'clock. Qin Jiao is indeed the first person to say happy birthday to her. Then there's no need to rush here so late. Yunsu felt a little distressed. She knew how hard Qin Jiao worked, so she must have squeezed out the time to come here. Everything you have to do is necessary. Qin Jiao looked at her, only she was the only one in his heart. I want to be with you every year on your birthday. Yunsu was a little confused. She remembered that last year, on a night when it first snowed, a man came walking in the snow, carrying a cake just to say happy birthday to her. Birthday gift. Qin Jiao took out a beautifully wrapped box from his arms. Yunsu was stunned for a moment after opening it. This is it, she vaguely guessed it in her heart. It's a fragrance that I specially asked a perfumer to make. It's the same type of fragrance that I use, with only slight differences. I hope this fragrance can stay with you, just like me. Qin Jiao had never said such a direct expression of his feelings, and his expression was a bit unnatural. Yunsu looked at the liquid wrapped in the bottle and understood Qin Jiao's intention. He remembered what she said when he was drunk last time. Although he didn't ask, he still understood it in his own way. Her emotions. She lowered her head, and a tear fell to the ground. At the birthday party, she only made one wish. I wish to be like Liang Shanjun and see each other every year. Not only refers to fans, family, and friends, but also refers to the man in front of her who came to congratulate her along with the stars. End of this chapter. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 198. Chapter 198 The Boy and the Dream. Come on, steamed sea bass, Yun Daijin greeted and brought the last soup to the table. Uncle, sit down quickly, there are so many dishes, please stop working. Lian Yu, Yao Shuij, Qin Cheng, and Shen Jinzu sat around the table, and even Li Yan, whom they hadn't seen for a long time, took the time to come. Yun Daijin said happily, it's okay, there is one last soup, you guys eat it first, eat it first. Please use your chopsticks. I've never seen you so reserved before, Yunsu joked when he saw that everyone was sitting still. Can it be the same? You must be more restrained in front of the elders, Lian Yu whispered. Just calm down your appetite for me later, Yunsu glanced at him sideways. I don't want to, I have to eat more, it's so rare to eat just once. Qinglian came out of the kitchen and saw a few wooden piles, and smiled, eat quickly, everyone. As soon as she spoke, several people stopped holding back and picked up their chopsticks. No, how could you not tell me? Lian Yu looked aggrieved and felt betrayed, and the chicken legs in his hand no longer smelled good. Wow, it's been a long time since I tasted Uncle Yun's cooking, and it's still so delicious. After thinking for 3 seconds, he slammed the table and said, I have decided, I will also take the military academy entrance examination. Anyway, he was used to growing up with Qin Cheng, so taking the military academy entrance examination was also a good choice. If his old man knew, my mouth will burst from laughter. That's pretty good. I haven't even gone to college yet and I've already found my direction. What about you? He asked the other two girls. Li Yan, how are you doing over there? As for me, I am going to the best fashion design major in China. Yao Shui's eyes were shining with anticipation. I will definitely design the most beautiful clothes in the world and let the whole world know who I am as a designer. Yun Daijin came out with the last soup. He looked at these children who bought it so much, with a loving look on his face and a very good mood. The greatest satisfaction for a cook is to see this kind of scene. Seeing that everyone has their own goals, Lian Yu suddenly sighed, it's great. We all have definite goals, unlike me and brother Cheng, who don't know what to study in the future. I've been working on a project with my teacher recently. It's very busy, but it's also very fulfilling and I've learned a lot. Li Yan's eyes sparkled when she mentioned the things she loved. Come, let's all join together to wish our birthday boy a happy birthday. Lian Yu has always been the most lively person. After filling his stomach, he raised his glass to greet everyone. The glasses clinked together. Who is the same as you? Qin Cheng retorted. After chewing a piece of rib slowly, he said, I want to take the exam for the military academy. What? Lian Yu exclaimed, when did you decide? Why didn't I know? This won't work, and that won't work either, so what else can I do? Lian Yu thought about it and said with a sad face. Qin Cheng, let's not talk about whether you can pass the exam or not. You just seem to have no bones all day long. Military school is not suitable for you. Don't make a decision just because of your heat. Yao Shuij had a satisfied look on his face, and several others were also immersed in eating, their chopsticks almost dancing into shadows. I have to give you a report. Happy birthday. In families like theirs, the family will not force them to study a certain major or take a certain path, nor will they set limits on their lives. However, because of this, it seems that they lack nothing, but they will fall into a more confused situation. Shenjinzu, I must be admitted to Hwaking to study the astronomy major of my dreams. Her father studies astronomy and stars, and she has been exposed to it since childhood, and she is also full of yearning for the mysterious night sky. Having almost finished eating, a few people started chatting. You talk so much all day long, and you can talk better than anyone else, so go do diplomacy anyway. You also have that social bug, Yao Shuich said casually. Unexpectedly, Lian Yu listened to her words, rubbed his chin and thought seriously. Diplomacy. Seems pretty good too. Yun Daijin picked up the cup again, then uncle, I wish you all your wishes will come true. Thank you, uncle. Cheers. At that time, I was young, and when I talked about my future and dreams, everything was sparkling. 2 flowers bloomed, 1 branch on each side, the Yun family at this time. Xiao Yan, blow out the candles quickly, Yunjing urged Yunyan while holding the cake. The atmosphere at home was tense recently, and he was worried about it. He went home every once in a while to check on her. Where's mom? Yunyan lowered her head, unable to see her expression clearly. Mom, she's feeling a little unwell. She's lying on the bed. Yunjing looked a little unnatural. Uncomfortable. What's wrong with her? She just felt uncomfortable looking at her, Yunyan sneered in her heart. What she thought of is another person now, with a frowning face, and the tea is not thinking. Yunyan thought of the person who was all-pervasive in her life. Movie kings and stars posted blogs to celebrate her birthday, and rich men held birthday parties for her. It seemed as if the whole world was celebrating her birthday, but what about her? What does she have? Her father was busy outside and her mother turned a blind eye to her. Since childhood, this was the most uncomfortable birthday for her. How come there is such a big gap between 2 people who were born on the same day in the same year and the same month? Yunyan raised her eyes and looked at her brother who had a careful face. Her heart didn't waver at all. She didn't need such pitiful concern and pity. Her face showed no joy and she blew out the candle. I went upstairs to rest. Brother, you should go back to school early. I'm fine. She went straight upstairs without waiting for Yunjing's reaction. Xiao Yan, are you at home? Ren Suangxuan's voice was filled with joy on the other end of the phone. I'm outside your house and I brought you a gift. Can you come out? Yunyan wanted to refuse, but thought that Ren Xianxian might be of some use, so she agreed. Happy birthday, Xiao Yan. Ren Xianxian stood outside Yun's house and handed out the gift. Yunyan looked at the roughly wrapped gift bag, concealed the impatience and disgust in her eyes, and reached out to take it. Won't you open it and take a look? I'll go back and take a look later. Yunyan smiled softly. Okay, then, I'll leave first. Okay, be careful on the road. It's still the same smile that looks like facial makeup. Ren Xianxian was a little disappointed. She thought Yunyan would invite her in to play for a while. She turned her head and walked out. By the way, Xiao Yan. Ren Xianxian suddenly remembered something after walking some distance away. She turned around, but the words were stuck in her throat. She saw Yunyan turning her back and throwing the gift she had just given into the trash can without any hesitation, as if it was contaminated with a virus. She also took out a handkerchief and wiped her hands before throwing the handkerchief in again. Ren Xianxian stared blankly, and when Yunyan turned around as if feeling something, she instantly hid around the corner. What is she hiding from? It was obviously Xiao Yan who had thrown away all her thoughts. That was a gift she had saved up for a long time to buy. She could tell her if she didn't like it. How could she do this? Do you really think she will come to save you? I don't know why, but Yunsu's words echoed in her mind. Ren Suangxuan's nose felt sour and tears fell from her eyes. Are you asking for leave again? He Kong, the head teacher, looked at Yunsu. Yunsu rubbed her nose. She felt a little embarrassed about asking for so much time off. Fortunately, she had been prepared. She took out a certification document. Hikong looked at the bright red seal on the paper in a daze. No one would dare to forge the seal, right? He took a deep breath. Okay, don't be too surprised. Anything can happen to Yunsu. He is very likely to become a Fields Medal winner teacher, so he must learn to be calm. The calm Hikong calmly approved the leave note for Yunsu. After Yunsu walked out of the office, he slammed the table. He was so calm. His heart was beating fast as he thought about where Yunsu was about to go. Teacher what are you doing? Director Lee was curious as he passed by with a teacup. It's nothing, Yunsu just came to ask for leave. Hikong knew what to say and what not to say. Just approve it if you ask for leave. Director Lee thought Hikong was a little dissatisfied with Yunsu's frequent requests for leave, and quickly reassured him, you also know that for students like Yunsu, studying in school has little effect on her, so she should be allowed to be free. Development, we can't be a stumbling block on her way forward. The most fortunate thing in Director Lee's life is that he firmly defended Yunsu when she had a conflict with Zhong Xin. Otherwise, Yunsu would have gone to Boya, and now it would not be their school that is famous. If that were the case, you may have to live with regrets for the rest of your life. Hikong was in a complicated mood and still had stumbling blocks. He finally understood that if anyone really dared to stop her, someone would brush it away for her even if it was a grain of sand blocking her eyes. Yungong, everything is ready, Sushwe reported to Yunsu. She was always serious when working and addressed Yunsu very formally. Okay, let everyone pay close attention and don't miss anything. Yunsu's brows were filled with deep fatigue. Yes. After all preparations were completed, a plane flew all the participants of the project to the Wine City. Deep in the desert, a secret base stood. This place carries the expectations and visions of generations, and has also witnessed countless brilliance and glory. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 199. Chapter 199 Liquor City Base. Professor Fu, Professor Lee, I have been waiting for you for so long. Fan Cheng, the head of the base who came to pick them up, shook hands with Fu Ruoshan, Lee's Hixie and others with excitement on his face. Ever since he learned about this project, he has been looking forward to everyone coming over. Fu Ruoshan and others are old acquaintances of him and have collaborated on many projects before. Long time no see, Lao Fan, I see you are still in such good spirits, Fu Ruoshan said cheerfully. Thanks to you, everyone is working hard for this project. Fan Cheng looked at the young men and women behind them and asked, what are these? Oh, it's the assistant who came with me. Fu Ruoshan remembered something. By the way, I'll introduce you to someone, Xiaosu, Where's the person? He turned around and didn't see Yunsu's figure. Sushwe stepped forward and whispered, Yungong is still in the car behind. She was busy late last night and was catching up on her sleep all the way. I'll call her right away. No need. Yunsu's voice sounded tired, and he stepped forward with eyes wide open. Xiaosu, come here, this is the person in charge of the Liquor City base, Professor Fan Chenfen. Fan Cheng looked at the childish little girl and wondered, what is this? This, no, Lao Fu, you can't joke about this. How could the leader be? Fan Cheng cried out in horror. Before Fan Cheng could finish his words, uncontrollable applause had already started. Everyone is here. Let me make a long story short. I am surrounded by the project team members from Lanchinj First Research Institute. Let me introduce to you first. This is the general initiator and leader of the project. Yunsu, everyone is welcome. Fields Medal, Fan Cheng's eyes widened in horror, isn't it? He looked at Fu Ruoshan aside, and Furuoshin nodded to him. Okay, let's get everyone ready for the last test right away. Yunsu has stayed up for several long nights, and her face is full of exhaustion. Even a strong person can hardly stand it. Not only her, but everyone present is also tired. His face looked tired, but his eyes were astonishingly bright. Lao Fan, this is the project leader you've always wanted to meet, Furuoshin introduced, waiting to see Fan Cheng's reaction. Really, he still couldn't believe it. The relevant content of this project is top secret, and very few people know about Yunsu. He has always only known that the leader of this project is very young, but he did not expect to be so young. Everyone is here, am I kidding you? Of course Fan Cheng understood the significance of the field's medal. He looked at Yunsu in disbelief. Although mathematics is the basis of all sciences, it is still far behind them in aviation. What a terrifying talent this is. Is it possible to achieve this by balancing both? He is increasingly looking forward to the changes and surprises this girl will bring to this place. As long as this test is successful, it means that the materials they developed have successfully passed the test and can be truly used in the production of spacecraft. Everyone is waiting with bated breath for the final results. Professor Fan, if you have time, you should pay more attention to the news from the outside world, and don't stay in the laboratory all the time, the young researcher joked, who doesn't know about the nominees for the field's medal. Really, Furuoshin looked at the large group of people, don't hold back, let's go first. It's just that no one expected to see her here. 2 months later, it's New Year's Eve. Professor Fan, isn't it strange that you don't know Yun Gong, a researcher couldn't help but said, looking at Yunsu with admiration. Professor Fan, who didn't know Yunsu, was surprised and asked, is there anything I don't know? Yun Gong, everything is ready, Sushwe came to report. Okay, let's go this way. Fan Cheng suppressed the doubts and shock in his heart and led the way. Looking at everyone's excited expressions, he was surprised. Do you all know Yun Gong? Why do you all have such expressions? After a group of people have settled down, they will get into work. The first step is to convene a meeting with all project owners. The Liquor City base has allocated a group of people to follow the project, and they need to get familiar with it as soon as possible. In the vast expanse of desert, a laboratory stands here, with people wearing protective suits debugging equipment. Quality inspection begins, quality inspection completed. The toughness test begins, the toughness test is completed. The high and low temperature test begins, the high and low temperature test is completed. Oxidation test started, oxidation test completed. The tests were carried out in an orderly manner, with everyone staring closely and not daring to blink. All tests completed. The last experimenter's part was completed, which meant that all the tests had passed. After a full 10 seconds of silence, a huge cheer erupted. We succeeded, we succeeded. Great, great. Sushwe didn't care so much anymore, and directly pulled Yunsu's sleeve and shouted, Yun Gong, we succeeded. We did it. You are really awesome. Yunsu looked at everyone who had been working hard for so long and was finally rewarded, and smiled, we are all so awesome. This is not the result of her alone, but the result of everyone working together for so long. Yes, Furuoshin laughed loudly on the side, we are so awesome. Fan Cheng looked at all this and smiled so much that he was almost blinded by the wind and sand. Who would have thought, who would have dared to think that in just 2 months, they would have completed all the experiments and truly developed a product that is lightweight, high strength, high modulus, high toughness, high temperature resistant, low temperature resistant, oxidation resistant, and durable. Corrosion and other high-performance aerospace structural materials. The performance is much higher than that of all materials used in the past. With this kind of material, why worry that China's aerospace industry cannot take it to the next level? It's just a matter of time. And the biggest contributor to all of this, Fan Chen looked at the girl standing quietly with emotion in his heart. Every day for 2 months, he was almost amazed by her talent. Without her, they would never succeed. It's possible to do it all. Yun Gong. Yun Su turned around, and a straight-dressed Yang Xiao stood behind her. You come very quickly. Are you waiting for me to complete the test every time? The same was true for the last final test of a new drone. She looked at Yang Xiao's empty hands and joked with rare interest, why, you didn't bring a gift today. No need for those. She is too smart and does not need to win over with small favors. Everyone sees her ability and attitude and will not let the achievements of a meritorious official be buried. Yun Su chuckled lightly and understood what he meant. Okay, take me back to Lanchange. The most important part of the experiment has been completed, and there is only the finishing part left, which she does not need to worry about anymore. She was also tired. She had not been home for 2 months and had cut off all contact with the outside world in order to keep it secret. If she did not go back, she was afraid that some people would go crazy. Yes. On New Year's Eve, it was snowing outside the window. It was a snowfall that Lanchange had not seen in more than 10 years, it was a light snowfall, the kind that melted when it fell to the ground. Yunting lay on the glass with window grills, exhaled through his mouth, and drew a heart. Qinglian and Yun Dajin were making dumplings in the kitchen. She suddenly sighed, I don't know when Susu will come back. It's New Year's Eve today. No matter how busy you are with work, you have to let your children come back to celebrate the new year, right? Yun Dajin paused while rolling out the dough. Susu will definitely come back as soon as she can. She must be too busy to get away from. Besides, she's not going to a dangerous place. She's doing work for the country. I can rest assured. Qinglian rolled her eyes and pretended. She didn't know who was tossing and turning every night and couldn't sleep. He had already told me that he couldn't be reached, but he still bothered to call me every day. I'm afraid she won't be able to eat well there. Look at what you said, can I still eat well there? It doesn't taste like home. The couple were silent as they talked. Yun Dajin turned his back and scratched the corners of his eyes. It was not that he was not worried about Yun Su, but it was the child's choice, and they, as adults, could only support it. Don't think about it, we are also celebrating the new year here, and we always have to eat dumplings for the new year, Yun Dajin said after clearing up his mood. Okay, I'm going to call Xiao. Why hasn't the kid come back when I asked her to buy some vinegar? Qinglian wiped her hands and prepared to make a call. Sister is back, Yunting by the window suddenly shouted, with excitement in his tone. Is Xiao Yu back? Yun Dajin also poked his head out of the kitchen. No, it's sister. Sister is back, Yunting ran towards the door with a thud. Yun Dajin and Qinglian looked at each other and realized, could it be that Susu is back? He dropped the rolling pin in his hand and ran outside. Dad, Xiaoting, please slow down. From a distance, Yun Su saw her father and Yunting running towards her. In the falling snow, a girl dressed in black walked slowly, her bright smile more moving than the falling snow. I've lost weight, Yun Dajin looked at his daughter's face, which had shrunk a bit, with heartache in his eyes. That's because I didn't eat the food you cooked, Dad. You don't know, the food over there is not as delicious as yours. When I returned to my family, the strategist Yun Gong disappeared, replaced by a man who was talking to him. A little girl playing coquettishly with her father. Ah! Susu, King Yu, who had returned from buying vinegar, saw Yun Su and was so happy that he almost threw away the vinegar bottle. Two girls hugged each other. Sister, there's me too, Yunting shouted immediately, unwilling to be ignored. Okay, hug Xiaoting again. Yunting is also a big child and is not light, but Yun Su picked him up easily. Qinglian, who was a step too late, finally arrived. Looking at the excited people, She was speechless. Do you have to talk in the snow in this cold weather? Don't move the child. Yes, 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 come home quickly, don't catch a cold. Yoon Daejin reacted suddenly. Oh no. I have dumplings cooked in the pot. A few people laughed heartily. Okay, let's go home and eat dumplings. Reunion dinner, finally reunion. End of this chapter. After Rebirth, Boss, she is beautiful and sassy. Author, beautiful. Chapter 200. Chapter 200 Family Reunion. Yoon Daejin's face glowed. Let me say a few words first. Today is the first new year that our family has spent together. I have no other wishes. I just want our family to be healthy and happy. This is enough. I wish everyone a Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Susu, eat more. Look how thin you have become. Ching Lian kept picking up vegetables for her. Yunsu looked helplessly at the pile of bowls. It's really not that exaggerated. The food at the base is still very good, but sometimes she is so busy that she doesn't even bother to eat. Although she has lost a little weight, it is not like feeding her like a pig now. By the way, we don't have to go back to Xiaoshui town for the Chinese New Year this year. Yoon Daejin remembered this incident. Your uncle and others heard about me and your aunt, and they are planning to come to Lanchinge to see us. What? Qing Lian was stunned. Why didn't you tell me? Isn't this what you are saying? In the short term, Yunsu does not plan to do any more research. She wants to concentrate on Yun Cheng, which has reached a crucial stage. No need, it's already done. Qin Jiao looked at the goose feather heavy snow outside the window. It's also falling in the capital. Do you want to see it? No, Qing Lian felt panicked, and Yunsu noticed it. Seeing that her father still looked fine, he comforted her. There was still light snow falling outside the window, and the house was filled with joy. Yunsu felt peaceful looking at all this. This was already her second spring festival since she came back. Having not received any news from her or heard her voice for 2 whole months, Qin Jiao was going crazy. People are greedy animals, and they will ask for more if they get a little. Yoon Daejin finally realized what he was doing, and quickly comforted her. Don't worry, they just came to see us. They haven't been to Lanchinge for so many years, and they just came to have a look. Less than 3 seconds, the phone rang. Having said that, Qing Lian was still a little uneasy. After eating, she started talking about what to prepare and tidy up the house. Qing Yu personally persuaded her mother to stop. It's okay, Auntie, my uncle and his family are very easy to get along with, so just relax. Do you still want to go there? It snowed in Lanchinge today, which is really rare. You keep your phone in your hand all the time, right? Yunsu looked at her father sitting beside him and returned to the room with a guilty conscience. I'm back. Yunsu's voice was full of longing. She picked up her mobile phone and sent someone a message, Happy New Year. The family sat together to watch the Spring Festival Gala and watch the New Year's Eve. Yoon Daejin and Qing Lian gave generous New Year's money to several children. Yunding was so happy that he couldn't find any clues. Qin Jiao looked at his mother's subtle eyes and walked aside naturally, but there was uncontrollable surprise in his voice. I'm finally back. Qin Jiao hung up the phone, and 2 seconds later, the video call came. That's good. Are you sleepy so early? Yoon Daejin asked strangely. Is the child not tired after working for so long? Qing Lian peeled an apple and told Qing Yu, go and give Susu a glass of milk. After drinking it, she will feel better when she sleeps. Good. Qing Yu knocked on Yunsu's door with milk in hand. Susu. After a while, Yunsu's voice came. Come in. Drink a glass of milk. Qing Yu put down the milk and looked at Yunsu, who was holding the phone. Why did she feel a little nervous? Then I'll go out first. Good. The moment she closed the door, Qing Yu seemed to see a man's face flash across Yunsu's phone. Her eyes widened. Was this? Okay, what did you just say? Yunsu said, pretending to be nonchalant. I asked you if you want to see the snow. He opened the window, and the cold wind rushed in. After drinking, his head, which was a little hazy after drinking, suddenly sobered up. Yunsu chuckled lightly. Are you looking at the snow or you? The end of her voice rose, like a small hook, tickling his heart, and his sober mind seemed to be drunk again. Look at me. His voice was hoarse, and he did not hide his thoughts. Well, let me take a look. She stretched her fingers towards the screen and slowly traced the handsome face on the screen bit by bit, from the eyebrows to the lower jaw. Her eyes were focused, as if she were really touched his face through the screen. Qin Jiao's ink-colored eyes twitched, and the strong emotions inside were frightening. It's so beautiful. Yunsu praised him without hesitation, looking at him with a possessive look that he didn't realize he had. If it's good, just watch it until it's enough. It's best to watch it for a lifetime. His voice was bewitching, like a siren tempting people into the deep sea. Yunsu suddenly laughed, smiling freely, with vivid joy in his eyes. She is willing to step into his sea. Yunsu fell asleep while the two were chatting. She was indeed too tired for this period of time. Qin Jiao looked at the girl's peaceful sleeping face, his eyes filled with joy, and he softly said good night. I've never heard you speak in this tone. Qin Jiao turned around and saw their old lady leaning against the door frame and looking at her with a smile. His expression was natural, as if the person who just spoke was not him. When will you bring it back for me to see? Mrs. Jean was really curious about what kind of girl could make her little five become such a tender and affectionate person. The change was so big that even her own mother would not dare to recognize it. Situation. Soon Qin Jiao did not deny it, his eyes filled with soft waves when he mentioned her. Sister Yun, you are finally back, Lian Yu said excitedly. Yunsu slept until dawn. The relaxation she had not seen for a long time allowed her to stay in bed for a while. Looking at the overwhelming number of messages on her phone, to save trouble, she directly sent a message to Moments to announce the return of the missing person. Less than 5 minutes, Lian Yu's phone call came. Yunsu said in a lazy tone, what? Come out and play, I've been bored to death during the 2 months you've been away. What are you going to do in this weather? It was too cold outside and she didn't want to go out. Would you like to go to the shooting gallery? He really wanted to go. Qin Cheng returned to the capital for the new year, and it was pointless to go alone, so he had to ask Yunsu to come with him. It's New Year's Day, is the shooting gallery still open? Let's go, let's go. Lian Yu pinched his nose and cooed in a coquettish voice. Yunsu felt a chill, but she was really interested. Okay, wait for me for a while. I'll pick you up. Less than half an hour, Yunsu heard the roar of the sports car downstairs. How's it going? Sister Yun, isn't my car good? Lian Yu raised his chin with a look of embarrassment on his face. I'm not driving without a license now. Just over a month ago, he entered the ranks of adults. The first thing he did was to take a driver's license test, and bought a car with the small treasury he had saved over the years and the support of hundreds of millions of family members. Not bad. Yunsu measured it. The lines were smooth and there was a low-key arrogance, which suited Lian Yu very well. Go on. Yunsu raised his hand and threw something. What is this? Lian Yu caught it in a hurry. A belated birthday present. Really? Sister Yun, you are so good to me. He was moved to tears and couldn't wait to open it. F***ck. Geez, men's watch. Sister Yun, have you made a fortune? Lian Yu said. F***ck. Lian Yu said, although he knew that Sister Yun was not short of money, he was not so generous as to just give out hundreds of thousands of dollars as a gift. To the point, right? Yunsu said casually, it's an adult gift, so naturally it should be something affordable, as long as you like it. Not only because she has a good relationship with Lian Yu, but also because the Lian family gave her more than that, just reciprocating the favor. I like it, of course I like it. He happily took it with him, took out his mobile phone and took several pictures from various angles, and posted them on his WeChat Moments without stopping, and specifically marked it as a gift from Yoon-soo. In less than 2 minutes, the comment area was filled with voices of envy, jealousy, and hatred. "Let's go, get in the car," Lian Yu shook his head coolly. Yoon-soo got into the car, Lian Yu stepped on the accelerator and drove out. She slapped her and said, "Racing is not allowed in urban areas." "Oh, okay." Lian Yu didn't dare to refute. He let go of the accelerator, and the supercar, which started from 100 kilometers in just a few seconds, headed towards the shooting gallery at a snail's pace. End of this chapter.